I should do that. I should dance like the American Pie. Remember the old American Pie movie?
No, I just told you before this I don't watch movies.
I know. Here we go again. What do you have? Popcorn, though? What do you eat?
Yeah, well, okay, so I actually went to the theater this past week.
No.
Yeah. Well, I have no RC shit to work on. Real Race Car got canceled because of the rain.
What movies did you see?
We went and saw Tony. It's called Tony.
Tony?
Just came out.
Who's in Tony?
It's about that famous chef, Tony or Anthony.
I haven't heard this. Oh. Was it good?
Anthony Bourdain.
Was it any good?
So based on a true story, before I watched it, I had no idea. Anthony Bourdain, everyone's commenting. Here we go. Yeah, I had no idea about this guy. I just picked a movie and we went to go see it because that's how bored I was. The story was good. The movie was okay. That makes any sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The story was cool. So it's a lot cooler now knowing at the end of the story or the movie that it was based on a true story. I had no idea throughout the movie. The whole time I was like, who the hell sits there and thinks about this kind of shit?
Then you find out it's a true story.
And at the end, it was like, Mick and I, my girlfriend, were like, oh shit, that was all true. We had no clue. But it was a good movie.
Cool.
I can't believe how much going to the theater costs now. I haven't gone to the theater in like 10 years.
So us two, we usually take Little Man or whatever. You get popcorn and all that. God damn. Most of the time it's like $72.
Yeah.
Am I close?
Popcorn was the most expensive part.
Well, you got to have popcorn. There's no sense going without getting popcorn. That's the only reason to go.
It's the best. Before we bring our guest on, some big news in the RC world this past week.
Simon is already asking.
Yeah, thoughts on Josh C. leaving Accelerants? I think it was unexpected. Kind of out of nowhere. We had Josh on the show not too long ago, about a month ago. And Josh had great things to say. They had lots in the work, lots of movement in the work, new cars in the works.
I don't know, but it's going to be tough, right? When your design guy is gone, it's going to be tough.
And the face of the company.
Basically the face, yes. So you're right. Every Canadian up here thought he owned it. You had to explain that, or one of us has to explain all the time.
Yeah, he's only part owner. Yeah. So
it'll be interesting, dude.
It'll be interesting. I'm not too sure what happens.
What's interesting is him posting a thing about $1,000 to win now if you run his stuff.
Yeah, the other guy, the other owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're all buying Accelerants to go win. You ain't winning, so don't even buy. I've seen you drive recently. I've seen you drive. You put the front wheel drive in the wall.
I'll take out the rest of the field, Max. We'll split the money. We'll run all those classes. 75-25. You got a deal. wait. I'm going to be the one getting yelled at after for dumping everybody.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to fix your shitty car after.
That's different. No, you're good at it. You have to sell it after, right?
Yeah, I think it was unexpected. I think something must have happened. Not too sure what.
Yeah.
Not really our business to speak about, but Josh is a great guy and wish them nothing but the best.
Yes. Both sides, really, right? Like, hopefully that company stays in business or whatever's going on, or maybe they got somebody else designing or something. Who knows, right? But
for sure. Well, I don't want to waste too much time. Tonight, we got a great guest joining us on the show. Someone who has been a major part of RC racing scene for years. He's been behind the mic, behind the scenes, and right in the middle of some of the biggest events in RC. Scotty, welcome to the Fourth Quarter Show, and we're going live on the Sound of the Tone.
Scotty Too Hottie, there he is. What's up, buddy?
Not much, guys. How are you? Thanks for asking me to be on the show.
Wow.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. I know you had a bunch of big races to go to, and you decided this is where you wanted to be on a Monday.
Yes.
It worked out great when you guys reached out. This was the couple of days I had off. And
no, Scotty, you're supposed to say you canceled your flight to see us. That's what you got to tell us. Make us feel important.
Exactly. That was it.
So I want to start this off because we posted Scotty's coming on the show and the messages blew up. And someone sent me a photo.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, nothing. Someone sent me a photo. I'll shout them out once I share my screen here.
Hopefully it's not from Charlie Swanka, because Yeah.
Wasn't Charlie?
Okay, then we're okay.
That wouldn't be good, that one?
No.
Wasn't Charlie, but let's bring it up here because I did not know this.
Oh, damn. Fast
Yep.
Cats. Look at that.
Oh,
Fast
my
Cats.
goodness.
Someone sent me this photo. Shout out to Corey Scales, Chaos Hobby Sport out in British Columbia. He's there too in the photo.
Corgi, yeah.
Yep. Corgi sent this to me, and I couldn't believe it when I saw this.
Who's the guy with the hair in the middle?
Look at that handsome guy. Look at
that.
Buddy. Best body, best hair.
Well, the first thing I noticed was the jeans. I can't believe the jeans that you guys are wearing, you know?
It was like 2002 or something.
This was 2007.
7? Okay, I'm off. But
7, okay.
What's wrong with the jeans?
No comment. No comments.
Scotty, do you have a goatee then too? Is that a goat on it?
I did, yeah.
Is that just the picture?
Yeah. Goatee, yeah.
Yeah, look at that, buddy.
And so this was a 2007 Magma race at Fast Cats.
Yep.
Sure. Peter and Annie own Magma International from up in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. And I want to also point out 2 things. Love the trophy girls. We got to bring that back.
Yeah. Oh.
And the second thing is race paint across the board.
Look at that.
Yes.
Beautiful to see. I love to see that.
Exactly. I've been running red and yellow since when I went snowbirds in 99, 2000, something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that. That's cool. So thank you, Corgi, for sending that to us. Awesome.
Boy, there's a name that I haven't talked to him in who knows how long. Is he back in the industry? He must be, obviously, if he's still following along. And
he's heavy in the industry now.
Really?
He's out in British Columbia in Canada. He has a on-road track, off-road track, massive hobby shop called Chaos Hobby Sport there. And he's Canada's main distributor, retailer for Schumacher products.
Schumacher, SNC brings in the tires, right? Is that a Schumacher tire? Actually,
contact tire.
Yeah. So he's bringing in Schumacher. He's got all of these. He's sponsoring a lot of. He's going to have quite a cool team.
Wow, that's great.
He's got Douglas. He's got Douglas, Wayne Ma, and the track is cool as hell. It's above his garage, so he built a garage for his business, and on the second floor is an RC track. And
Perfect.
It's the coolest thing. When he told me that he has a group of 10. They come and practice Wednesdays. They race Saturdays together, and if you're unhappy with whatever, there's another guy waiting in line to take your spot. How cool is that to have your own track, and don't have to worry about rent or all that kind of stuff? And
that's awesome.
If you feel like missing out or leaving, well, I got another guy that's gladly take your spot.
Oh yeah, back in early years, man, he had his Decals company when he was making stickers and everything, and that was a long time ago. Well, that's cool. I hope to bump into him again.
Yeah, I'm trying to convince him. I'm going to talk to him to come out to Champs. So how can you miss that race, right?
Yeah,
so we'll get the boys out. Well, Kevin says Mark did used to be good. I have not even hit my prime yet. I'm just a fun racer, Kevin.
Kevin says that.
Kevin Bear. Ross says Scotty's the man. Can't wait for Cleveland. At the sound of the tone, less than 5. Oh yes.
You know what? You could ask
Scotty everybody.
He said I was supposed to be the next Masami. When he seen me run that day, he's like,
God.
"You are the next world champ, buddy. You got to go to more races." It was a honor and privilege, he said, to stand on the driver's stand with me, Max. That's what he said when he left. Right? He said I was unbelievable.
It's been a long time. My mind goes as you get older. Maybe you just never know. But when Kevin's name just popped up on here, I mean, that is a great story of Kevin when he first got in the industry. Paul and you and I drove from Milwaukee all the way up to Toronto in the middle of winter. We went to a race there, him and his buddy Sebastian, and Kevin didn't speak hardly any English. And, man, we had a good time. And, that's kind of when our friendship, when Kevin was running Losi back then, and then, went to Associated or whatever, it's.
Yeah. He was Losi back then with pole position batteries.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So just another great youngster that kind of grew up in the industry.
No, Max, back in 2007, I do believe that race too was when Scotty, I think he just started doing more announcing. I could be wrong on that date, but it was the coolest stuff, buddy. And it was nice telling him it was so cool to watch somebody take that spot that was needed in the industry, and he was running with it. It was well deserved. And again, when somebody talks about bank or whatever and what's it costs or whatever, but it doesn't matter when you're that good, man. I'll give you props all the time, Scotty. I hate when people talk about you deserve on what you get and all the time that puts in, and you run flawless races, bro.
Well,
And I wish I could
try
have you. I wish it would. I wish my time would always work for the Canadian Nats, but like you always say, you got like 2 weekends off, and if it falls on April 1st, it would be a miracle. You know what I mean?
I would love to come up
Yeah.
and be there for sure. But yeah, I'm fortunate I get to do what I do and people enjoy it. I really do.
Oh, it's cool, man.
Yeah, it's cool. And not to sound, I still remember back when I watched RC Racing TV days back when I was younger and hearing the voice, it legendary. And I told my, I don't remember back when I was wearing my IIC shirt.
There you go.
I told my mom we have to go to a race. I need to hear Scotty call my name, and we made that happen. So legendary voice in the industry. So thank you for all you do for everyone that races.
Thank you,
No,
kindly.
and
Appreciate
Scotty,
it.
like this one, I put on my Never Lift Martin Chris shirt.
Oh, Martin Chris,
Today?
there you go.
Yeah, I put on my shirt
Yeah.
today. Our race we do for him every year at our local track.
Another legend for sure.
Oh, he was at a lot of your races, that man.
Oh, a lot. And him and I raced together back when I raced Tamiya Series back in the late '90s, early 2000s, and he was.
Oh, I didn't know that, Scotty. You ran Tamiya Series a lot too back then.
Oh yeah, when I first got into on-road racing in the late '90s, I
Yep.
went to the Tamiya Nationals. We hosted a Tamiya race at trackside at my track, and then I won 97, 96? 96. I won the Tamiya Mod Touring Nationals in California and went to Japan
Okay.
and did all that. So yeah, I'm a big Tamiya guy. In fact, it's just funny you bring that up. I'm leaving in 2 days to go announce the Tamiya Nationals out in California. So
No way.
it's
Awesome.
kind of coming full circle. It's pretty cool. I'm excited.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. And many people probably don't know that you even did race. Obviously we know you now for the announcer up on the booth, but you raced, and many people don't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't. And I was just telling the story at the race I was at this weekend that maybe it was 10, 15 years ago. I was officiating a race, and the hardest and worst part of being an announcer is having to be official at the same time. And you got to make judgment calls, and not always right. You do your best to try to make a split second thing, but some guys kind of complain like, he's just an announcer. He doesn't know what's going on, and things like that. And I'm like, well, I do the best I can. They didn't know I raced, and I've been racing for since the 1980s, and
See how he closed. Hey, see how he did 1980.
long time.
You bring up the word officiating, and before we get into some juicy topics, I got to ask, obviously you saw the video at the Roar Nationals, the little hop of the barrier there. Many people have their different views on it and what they think should have happened. We get a little insight on from you, the announcer.
He's not-
I didn't see it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's good.
No,
He's
no
good.
idea. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, that was an unfortunate situation for sure. Me as the race director, I mean, if I was the official, I would have called something, because you're at the pinnacle, the A-Main National Championship. It's not like a club race where you just cut the track and you wait. Many of the people, if you raced in Europe, it'd be a totally different outcome of what happened. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, yeah, I'll probably upset some people, but something should have been given, because we all know the rules, or most people do. You have to re-enter the track where you left. And RCTV did that mimic, where they came on, and he waited, and but he didn't lose any time, and he made an error that affected the distance on the track. And Seth is an awesome driver. I love interviewing, because every time I interview him, you feel the passion in it, whether it's good or bad. That comes across when I interview him. But with everything on the line, yeah, I mean, that was he had no negative effect from his mistake, and that's the part that's in question.
And if something like that happened, let's say you missed it on the track, if this was your race, is there some type of process procedure that could have been implemented? How does that work after the race? Because I saw many comments saying that should be protested. Is that something that happens a lot in your events or in RC in general?
At my events, no, because our events are kind of private, just our events. But for sanctioned events and things like that, yeah, there's a protest. I think you have 15 minutes from the time the results are posted on the wall, or I guess nowadays from their, they go live online. I think it's 15 minutes. It could be 30. I don't know. I think in Europe, I think you have 15 minutes to put a protest up. I think there's a monetary amount you have to, $50 or $100, something like that, that you have to do. And then, the officials will review what they have, whether it be the video or the data, whatever it is. If it's a mislap or whatever it is, then it's reviewed by the officials.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's, it was almost sad to see an ending of a race like that, but it is what it is. But I think most people agree with what you said. And when you crash your car, you have to be penalized in some way, shape, or form. So.
And it's a shame because it was such an epic race. Seth and Chase that was the best, 8-scale race for a national championship. Because honestly, it was an hour-long battle. I mean, It wasn't a Mayfield or Dakota, checked out. They were, those guys were all racing so hardcore. It was fantastic. It was thrilling race. I was driving, so I had it on, but I actually turned my phone down, so I was just listening to it because I would have been way too, one eye on the phone, one eye on the road. But I turned it down so I couldn't watch it, but I listened to it, and it was great.
That's cool. That's cool to hear that you still listen and watch all the races, even though it's not your race per se, that you're still tuning in and watching the results and seeing what's happening. That's cool to hear.
Oh, I'm a nerd. I'm a geek for RC. That's never going to change. I love it. I love the hobby so much. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, we ask everyone this at the start of the show because the hobby is niche, small group. How the hell did Scotty Ernst find out about, RC car racing, toy car racing to where it is today?
I had no really interest as I was a kid. Now I'm probably one of your older guests that you've had on. The only RC car I had as a kid back in the day, get them from Toys R Us or Radio Shack, and they only turned one way. So it would turn like to the left and you'd have to back up, turn it. And I remember driving it in the kitchen, a little car with a, stick radio. And then when I was in the Navy, I was in Japan a lot. And when we were in Yokosuka, Japan, I remember walking by this hobby shop. And they had a big Kyosho signs and helicopters and everything in the window. And I didn't even stop. I had no real interest. And when I got out of the military, I heard an ad on the radio for a racetrack in Milwaukee called Trackside Hobbies. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I walked in, and it was a dirt oval. And back then, you ran converted gold tub RC10s or the graphite RC10s. And there were some other purpose-built sprint cars and late models and stuff like that. And I walked in, and I was just, what is this? This is the greatest thing I ever had. And I tell a story that bowling used to be my hobby. When I was a kid, I used to bowl with my brother Boomer, and we'd go bowling on Saturdays, and I always bowled. I was never really good at it. I just really enjoyed it. Did it with my dad and go watch him bowl in leagues and everything. So bowling was my hobby. It didn't matter. Rain, sleet, snow in Milwaukee, Friday night, I was going bowling. I walked into that hobby shop and racetrack, and I haven't touched a bowling ball since 1988. It absolutely was the coolest thing I ever saw. And I had just gotten out of Navy and just got married, and I didn't have any money, so I'm looking at, the cars on the wall. Man, how am I going to afford this? And I ended up buying a used converted dirt oval RC10 with an old timer charger, 15-minute tick, 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 and the charger broke like the next week or something like that. And it was just, I just fell in love with it. And I started running dirt oval, and it was good. And then I didn't have money, so I asked, hey, can I sweep the floors and take the trash out on race night so I could race for free. So the guy let me do that. And that was the kind of the beginning. And you never know the path life is going to take you on. But that moment, that months there when I learned about the hobby, it absolutely dictated my life. Little did I know, but it is, it has become my entire life, my passion, and everything that I've known for 30 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. So then you started racing dirt oval there.
Then you actually bought the hobby shop, right? And track? You were the owner.
So the owner, he wasn't, let's just say he wasn't a good businessman.
Okay.
And he, one day I was going there, and then I would help a couple days of the week to try to feed my hobby, so I could afford to get stuff. So I would help, and he was going to go out of business. He just, wasn't going to do it. And I said, really, you interested in selling it? Because I had always wanted to. I don't know why. I was always interested in business as a kid. My dad was a truck driver, so he was on the road a lot. But summertime, when everybody's out playing ball, I was walking around the neighborhood with my lawnmower trying to make money. In wintertime, when it snowed, everybody was, having snowball fights or whatever. I walk around with my shoveling sidewalks, trying to make money. And so I've always wanted to do it. No training, right? Just what I wanted to do. Okay. So I ended up buying a business and taking over in March of '93 and built it up to, we're thankful is one of the best places in the country.
Yeah.
And your time owning it, how much transition was there when you first bought it or first started as Dirt Oval? And what did you do with it over the time as you owned it?
Oh boy, I learned my first business lesson about lawyers and everything because it was in a mall. I took it over March of '93. This guy he hadn't paid rent in a while. So I went and met with the people that, hey, I'm going to take this business over. We're going to fix the place up, new paint, ceiling tiles were all molded, and stuff like that. So I was going to do all this and kind of dress it up. Can you give me a break for a couple months for rent? So I'll pour it into this. And it was at the top of this fancy building, downtown Milwaukee, the first Wisconsin building, 30-something floor. It was me with my little legal pad and a couple lawyers from the real estate company. And I said, yeah. So I had all my notes of stuff we're going to do. And then I should add a lawyer present. So that was March, and we got through the summer and everything. And I remember one night in the fall, late night, guy comes in right before we're closing. Are you Scott Ernst? I said, yes. Well, bam, serve me papers. You got 30 days to get out. So that was the end of '93. We had just bought it. And I had worked third shift. So I worked a full-time third shift job and then ran the hobby shop. We'd open the hobby shop in the afternoon, close it at 9 so I could get to work by 10. So we had to get out. And we had Dirt Oval, and so I ended up finding the place on another side of town, back of a building. We put carpet in, ran carpet oval, and then that was the start of On Road. So this was '94. Tamiya just started, with the Tamiya F102s, the Tamiya cars and stuff. So we started running some On Road, and that was the next chapter in trackside.
Wow! So Dirt Oval to Oval to On Road.
Yeah.
Is there one that has a little extra spot in your heart of the type of racing between those three?
Oh, Dirt Oval, absolutely, because that was what I first started doing, and when I was shocked by what this hobby is and everything, and so Dirt Oval will always have that special place in my heart. That's what I started racing, fell in love with it, really enjoyed racing it, and sprint cars and late models and stuff like that is, that's always going to have the special place in my heart for sure.
We had Sean Rayfield on not too long ago, and we learned that he raced Dirt Oval for 30 years.
He ran
real
late
Dirt
models.
Oval.
He ran real
really?
late models. He's real late models. He's a track champion and all kinds
didn't
of
know
stuff. He
that.
shows us some pictures. What the hell?
Yeah, he sent me photos after. Yeah, he ran dirt late models. He built modified cars and everything for 30 years. So
I'll be darned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's got a little dirt oval in them.
For sure. And now, as you know, everything kind of goes up and down in our industry, and dirt oval right now is just absolutely on the climb. It's so popular and so many tracks opening, and with the great stuff now that Traxxas has and the Ready to Runs and Losi Sprint, and now they got a late model. Those Ready to Run kits are really allowing people to get in that Losi NASCAR. I don't know. You guys ever seen them and drive them?
All the time. Yeah, they're here.
Fantastic.
Yes,
They're
ready to
they're
run.
awesome.
I think what do we charge over here, Max? I think they're 300 ready to run.
About $300 Canadian.
Yeah,
for them.
It's getting a lot of people to come out, or they're getting it, or we see some young people, old people, actually starting to come into the hobby, and that's what they're buying is that Losi NASCAR.
Oh, it's fantastic. I know a lot of people that got their kids doing everything. My eldest daughter, Sarah Ann, she's working at a hobby shop there in North Carolina, and she's starting to race these and got my granddaughter racing them. And
Nice.
yeah, they're great.
And isn't Tamiya coming out with one?
Did
I see that?
I don't know. I'm going to find out this weekend, though.
Yeah, 'cause I swear there's some picture up, and it looks like it's a NASCAR.
Wow, that'd be cool.
So obviously, I'm assuming you started announcing once you took the track over and owned it yourself. When did you start? Is that correct? Yeah. When did you start announcing more often? Like, I want to understand the story of how you got to the Scotty Ernst you are now, where you're flying all over the world to announce.
So we'd run races a couple times a week at trackside. So I had to do that, and then I would travel around to some races when I was racing the on-road circuit back in the late '90s, and people would ask me, "Hey, you want to announce?" And there was a hobby show in Chicago every year in October, and Milwaukee's about an hour and a half from there, and they asked me, the hobby show, to come down and put on a little fun race at the hobby show. And we had a track that was, I don't know, 40 by 20, little piece of carpet. And I'd bring the boards down and stuff from trackside. And I had a relationship with Tamiya from running the Tamiya series. So we get a bunch of Mini Coopers. And I was friends with the Novaks and stuff like that. So we get Novak electronics and stuff like that. And we had get some radios from High Tech and things. And so we'd have an IROC race at the hobby show. And this is back in the heyday when everybody was there, Associated, Losi, Orion, everybody was there. And they would all be at this hobby show. So we walk around and we'd set up heats and we'd run races. So you were in a race with, Gil Losi, Matt Francis, Bob Novak, all these names from,
My day, Cliff Lett, Joel Johnson.
Yeah, everybody that was there. So I'd run these races and stuff like that. And it was just Mini Cooper, IROC. It was fun. So I would announce there at the hobby show so more and more people would hear me. And then we had a race at Trackside. It started calling the Midwest Touring Car Championship when touring car just started. And it was just a Midwest race. And then one year when the batteries were changing, like every 6 months, batteries were changing from 1,700 to 2,000s to 2,300. And it was really quick. So quick that we had to put limits on it. So I set a rule that 12-turn motors, this only milliamp battery, and I handed out flyers down at this hobby show, and Mike Reedy got it as the big associated booth there. Mike, and after the hobby show the next month or whatever it was, I get a phone call at Trackside, and it's Mike Reedy. He says, "Scotty, I really like your idea of limiting the motors and batteries and everything, and I'm going to come up to the race, and I'm going to bring Mark Pavidis and Billy Easton with me. TC 3 days."
Yep.
That was, the best you could. Yep. David Junn had come from Tamiya when he had won the Tamiya Nats with the TA03. David had come the year before, and now Mark and Billy, and now this went from just the Midwest Touring Car Championship to a more national event, and it grew. And Mike Reedy came every year, and the race just kind of blew up. And then Novak got on board. I used to started calling it the Novak race because Novak gave us, I don't know, thousands of dollars worth of door prizes. A plethora of stuff. I mean, I couldn't count it all. So it became the Novak race. And everybody like, "You want a Novak race? Novak race." So it was exactly as a brand what you want an event to be called. Like people, you go to get a tissue. Most people don't get a tissue. They pick up a Kleenex. You say the brand, and that's what this race came the Novak race. So anyway, so we started doing this, and it really, really exploded, and more people started hearing me announcing, and I wasn't doing anything different. I thought it was just running the weekly races and doing what I thought was enjoyable.
No, my friend, and the one that I noticed that you've done right from the beginning, which I always thought was cool, even when I first heard you announce, or even at that Fast Cats race and all that, is that you made it exciting for first time in a long time ago in a lot of races back then. Was you made it exciting every class. It didn't matter if you were in the Y main or the D main or was the A main. You announced it as if it was the A main. That's what made a difference to me, Scotty. After meeting you, is that most guys back then, it was only excitement for an A main. The rest of it was just like whatever. You treat everybody, and it didn't matter what class, and you still do it to this day. You probably don't know you do it, or maybe you do, but it's pretty cool. I hear you announcing. Just get excited for that VTA class. That's the E main at VTA at Cleveland. With only 3 in it. Their main. You make it just as exciting if it was the 10 guys in the A main and modified. It's really cool, bro.
I appreciate that.
You have that talent, my friend. It's really cool.
That means a lot, and I do really try to make it, because for those 3 guys in that E main, that's their A main.
Yes,
they paid the same money as everybody else.
Correct.
And I feel disappointed when I'm an event and the announcer is just phoning it in for the lower mains, and it's just in some ways it's more important for those guys because they're maybe new to the hobby and and that's their moment.
And being a promoter like I am, or my race and your race that you do, or Cleveland that you have, and it's true because in the end, and my dad told me that years ago. The problem is that the bottom guys, if you want to call them bottom guys, don't mean to say it like that, but you need them to come back. The A main guys will always be there, or they'll always come, or made to come, or paid to come, or whatever. It's that other guy that spent his hard-earned money. You want him to enjoy himself just as much as everybody else, and you want him to be fighting to come back next year. On his way out, you want him shaking Scotty's hand. Hey, great event. I'll see you next year. Perfect.
Absolutely, and I think that's a core reason that people enjoy our events is we try to give everybody the best experience possible. Do we always succeed? No. I mean, there's always something we can do better. We can have more trash cans here. Do practice. There's always something that you can improve. I've never, in my decades of doing this, I've never had a perfect event. There's always something you can do better.
Yes.
And
since I have you here, the one question I have for you is, I don't know how you do it, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here on us live, but I always think my shoulders are big from me playing on my hockey and my kids' hockey. You know what I mean? But putting up with some of these RC guys, when you hold the event and the mistakes, and my shoulders are not that big. I get crushed at my own races and some comments some guys make, and I'm like, oh my God. And I go into a shell and I'm thinking, how does Scotty do this every week, week in and week out? Like if I call somebody on cheating, or I tell him he can't run, or we start the race without him, now he's mad. I'm like, we got 52 heats. I'm sorry, you weren't ready. Well, that's not nice, right? I paid, right? And I'm just like, how does Scotty have these big shoulders all weekend to put up with all these guys?
It's tough for sure, and you try our best to do the best we can, and I'm not always perfect for sure. Only the man upstairs is perfect, but we try do the best we can, and people have to understand that a big event, it's the same for everybody, and we try to keep things on time, and when things go bad and things are upside down, I always I say to myself and my team, it's kind of running joke. I tell them Monday will come, regardless of what happens here, regardless how much they hate us, or that guy's yelling at us because we didn't do this, or I didn't see him get taken out or whatever. Monday's still going to come. We're going to go back to our family, and we're blessed to do this for a job. And
you know what's that? I'm going to say my line so everyone knows my line, and someone taught me this one. You know what? It was a relief for me, because usually all the guys always ask, Mark, during your weekend of racing, you always get grumpy, you get mad, and everyone can tell, right? And I said it. Someone told me this line, that we're working on it. And I use that all the time now. We're working on it. So someone's going to say this and this, the garbage is full, this is that, or whatever. I said, we're working on it. Are we working on it? I have no idea. I just say it now, and Now everyone's going to call me out on it, but I love that line. We're working on it. Made me smile the whole weekend. We're working on it.
Yeah, for sure.
We need
for
more
sure.
people in tech. We're working on it. We need, right? We need a taller driver stand. We're working on it.
Good way to do it. I've been yelled at many a times in front of everyone, and I try to keep my composure, and I just say, I'm sorry. I'll try to do better the next job. I'm new at this, and I'm learning, and I'll keep trying to do the best I can.
I like that one. Hey, I'm new at this. What?
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
What did he say?
We're trying.
Well, what Mark said there, many people feel the same way. We got Greg here, says, the first time I met Scotty, he made me feel like he's known me forever. Great guy. Sprinkles, Jeremy D'Amico, says Mark is 100% right. People are asking. And yes, that's the one you're flying out to, right? The TCS National?
Yes. Tim, I am. Yep. My dear friend, Fred Medell, who runs TCS Series. He's a big guy over at Tamiya America. He called me up a couple months ago. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Would you be interested in coming out to Tamiya National? I was like, yeah, Tamiya. Next to the dirt oval thing that I talked about as a special place. Tamiya, absolutely, because we held Tamiya races, Tamiya Championship Series at trackside when we had a carpet track for many years. And I had to work so hard in 95 to get them to understand. Back then, it was just parking lot racing. And I said, this side of the Mississippi, come November, there is no parking lot racing. It's all indoor carpet racing. And finally, after just nagging them, I got them to let us host a Tamiya Championship Series race. And for more than a decade, we had the biggest Tamiya race of the year every year. It was so Tamiya is always the other special place in my heart for sure.
Awesome. Good evening, Robbins. John Blakely in the house. Hello, Scotty from Otterville, RC, Ontario. You're a real treat to listen to. Cheers. So yeah, a lot of guys love it, Scotty. A lot of guys love it, and that's why right now we have one of our highest show counts live viewers because you're doing something well.
Well, that's great. Good to have you.
And Max, who made that?
Thanks for the kind words.
Who made that thing that has all his little quotes? And I was pressing the button.
Oh, jeez.
Announcing. That thing was awesome. Eh?
I was trying to get that programmed into the screen, but I'm not a tech guy, so I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, Scotty, I was using that at our place. I was pressing those buttons steady. You just see, that was amazing. Whoever did that, I was howling. That is perfect.
So it's a guy over on our ETS team over in Germany, Ollie. He lives in the matrix, he lives in the computer world and all that. And he had this idea of, doing all the Scotty-isms and all the stupid stuff I say. And he put it on that board, and he talked about doing it for a long time. And then I said, yeah, just go have fun with it, whatever. And then he put it out, and my phone started blowing up. I'm like, what's going on? What is this? And that's when he announced it. And it's pretty humbling, that people enjoy it, and they got it programmed onto the computers, and it's pretty cool.
It's awesome. Ronnie says, read it to me, race 15. Scotty made the race memorable for me and my travel group. So there you go.
The Reedy race was that was an amazing, all the Reedy races, and I say this, I've said it many times, I owe my announcing career, if you would, to a great man, Mike Reedy. When he, next to my dad and my grandpa, he's probably influenced my life more than any other guy that I've known. When I told a story about when he called me up and he brought Mark and Billy to trackside for the race, and then he helped it grow. And then one day I was at trackside one night, and I get a call, and it's Mike Reedy on the phone, and he said, "Hey Scotty, would you be interested in coming out to California to race direct and announce the Reedy Touring Car Race Champions?" He said, "We'll pay you and fly out and all that stuff." And I'm like, Jesus, this is Mike Reedy. I'd have done it for free. Back then there was one of the 3 or 4 big icons in our world.
Yeah.
And he brought me out there, and that was like my first paid gig, and kind of on a international spotlight, if you would, because that race back then was the biggest thing next to the World's Reedy Touring Car Race at the Tamiya track. It was legendary, and that was the beginning. And then somebody else heard me, and then I got a trip, somebody flew me over to Europe to announce a race, and it just kind of snowballed. And that's when I started really organizing international races, was the early 2000s of the Reedy race. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And touring car was really, really growing. And then I got my first IFMAR Worlds I got to announce, 2003 in Cincinnati, the 8 scale. And after doing a Reedy race a couple years, I thought, I'd like to put on a big international race. And Snowbirds was already going in Orlando. So I thought, Vegas. What about that? So we were at dinner at an Outback Steakhouse, me, Ralph Birch, Josh Searle, and a bunch of other guys. And I pitched the idea to those guys. I say, what do you think about a big RC race in Vegas, on a hotel, on the strip? They're like, yeah, we're all in. And 2005, we were able to make it happen, and that was the beginning of the IIC.
Yeah,
the cool shirt right there on.
I have my IIC shirt. Had to get one. So yeah, that was my first big race, and wow, it's still one of my top races even now after going to all the big races now. That race was, Kevin says IIC heart.
Yeah.
I had nothing bad to say. I just wish I was a little bit older so I could really explore Vegas. So maybe we need to talk and bring Vegas back so I can explore.
Every September, when it comes up on everybody's social media feeds, I get the messages from everybody. Oh, bring it back. And I'm like, there's no way in this modern era we could do that. Back then, we could do it. We started in 2005. We did it at the Stardust in September, October. Right after our race, they announced they were tearing it down. So then we went to the South Point, South Coast for 2 years. Then we moved it to the Riviera. That's when, 2007, when everything crashed, and the economy was hurting. We were the perfect group because the Riviera was a great, it's a 3-star hotel, and they treated us like gold because we were a big enough group where we were important to them. And then, we had many, many great years, and then we had to move to the Westgate, and we're just too small of a fish, to do it. We rent the ballroom for 7 days, and back then I think I was on the hook for about $80,000. That's kind of what my contract with the hotel rooms and stuff like that. If everything fell apart, I was done. And after the Stardust Coast 2005, and I went to the South Point, South Coast 2006 and 7, they buried me for like $24,000. And I had to put it on my credit cards, and I'll never forget. So that was 2006 and 7. It was April of 2011. I finally paid off my credit cards and got out of the hole for that, because it was just it was business. They kind of took advantage of a young guy, me, but I learned. But it was really good, and we had this great event going to the Riviera. It was awesome, but you had to guarantee them so much rooms, and we had the drivers meeting buffet. That it was really cool, but I had to spend $15,000 just on food and beverage at the hotel. That's all part of that's where they make their money.
Yeah.
And the Coca-Colas and the BMWs of the world, they'll spend $100,000 in one meeting, one event. And so we were just such a small fish that they could not give us the ballroom space for 7 days anymore at the price that we could afford. And we charged $200 for your entry. So it was astronomical. Granted, you got the goodie bags with the protoform body and all the Parma stuff, and the buffet and the beer and taco night. And so there were a lot. It was worth it. But now to try to go there and get the same thing that we put on for 15 or so years, there's no way we could do it. And we joked that any businessman that looked at the prospectus for me putting on a race there, I got to risk 80,000 to make maybe $5,000. You know what I mean? No business guy would tell you you're a fool. You know what I mean? But it was my passion for it, and it all worked out, and it was a great event. And I think in some ways it changed the industry, because there was the one thing I learned at the Tamiya track is banner placement. We put banners all the way around the track so that anybody that was taking a picture, and this was way before social media, anytime there was a picture of a car, there was a banner in the background with a sponsor.
Mhm.
And that's what I wanted. So the sponsors get the exposure. And now I've always done it since that early years of Reedy Race, put the banner wall around so that those sponsors are, in every picture and stuff like that. Now it's in videos and things like that. So it was the attention to detail that I didn't see in the industry for big events. And we tried to do that and make our events as professional as possible.
Yeah, well, you do a good job. I feel like we need to try to figure out, and this came to mind, we got to do like one more, I don't know what you want to call it, reunion race, redemption race. We got to figure it out where we get the whole industry involved. I think we could make it happen. I think we could get $9.
I would love to do it. Everybody always asks me, can you get the Reedy Race back and stuff like that? But whether it be the touring car side or the off-road side, the industry has changed so much. Back in the days of the Reedy Race, you look at all the teams, there was the Associate, there was Losi, there was Yokomo, there was Hot Bodies, there was Corrali, there was all these companies that, had big teams and they were making big money and stuff like that. And they could afford to send a team. Tamiya had a massive team, with all the guys, and they would send them all to California for this. So the expense was massive. But nowadays, that's not a thing. The Reedy Race format only works if you got about 20 guys all at the same level. You know what I mean? If you got 5 of the guys that are Ronald Volker, Hara, Reinhardt kind of level, and then you got, 10 guys my level, those guys are always going to win. So you need to have enough guys that can all battle out, that all have a chance to win. And back in the days of the on-road or off-road, that was the case. There were so many guys. You look at the Reedy off-road race, you had all the Japanese drivers, European drivers, all the Americans with Dustin Evans and all these guys. Jorn Neumann, when he won, as the first European to ever win that race, there were enough guys that could all battle it out. And unfortunately, the teams just don't have that kind of budget because there's so many races. And we all know that. So I don't know if it could ever come back to that heyday era.
Yeah, you're right. There's so many races. I feel like every weekend there's obviously a big race where all the pros are at too, somewhere in the world. So it'd be tough. But let's keep hope. Let's keep. Let's keep.
I'm all in for sure. If we could do it,
The one I got to ask you too, Scotty, is that me and Max always talk about it, and now hearing the guys that go to or your ETS races or the races over in China, and to me it's treated as they're a racer. It's not a hobby; it's a sport. How do we change that over here in North America to get rid of the hobby thing, that it's actually a sport? Give me that's a sport. These guys have some talent. And I always thought that why can't there be like an ETS series over here? But Max also explains to me, because I'm old and don't know where I am half the time, is that it works at ETS because every country or these races not too far away. You try doing that in North America, no one can go to these races because you got to travel or a 4 or 5 hour, 6 hour flight or 10-hour flight just to go to the next race.
Max is, pretty spot on that. Exactly. The ETS works over there because you can drive 6 hours and cross 4 nations.
Yeah.
Here I can drive 6 hours. I haven't left to Wisconsin yet. So it's, that's a hard place. America is so big, and the different nationalities that, we have 15 countries at ETS, represented, speaking so many languages. That all makes for the mystique of what it is and what really helps it work. To your point about getting it not recognized as a hobby, I honestly don't know the answer. I get to go to a couple races in Scandinavia every year. The Oslo Open, it's a nitro on-road race, and I've got educated on what life is there for the hobby tracks and everything. And the hobby is part of the motorsports of the nation. When David Ronnefalk won his world championship in Vegas, he went up for Sportsman of the Year in Sweden against the top rally driver, the Formula One driver, whatever. And there was David Ronnefalk. And it's just absolutely amazing. So they get it over there. It's part they know what the hobby is, that it's just not a toy and everything like that. And, and there's a federation there that the clubs get money from the National Federation of Motorsports to help pay electricity bills and help keep the infrastructure of their facility open and everything. And it's they got it right. It's really good. And I don't know how you would ever.
Well, Dino was just telling me this weekend, our friend that moved back to China, and he's still up, but he came this weekend, he flew back and he came to our club race and stuff. He just told me, Mac, I don't know if I told you that, when he just told me that they have like a junior program in his area where he's in China, that if you win the junior program, the government gives that person money for college. You actually get a college tuition paid if you win the RC whatever junior program. You get your college paid for.
I would believe it, because there's many schools that every Wednesday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon is RC time, where they're building up an RC kit and stuff like that and learning all about it. So no, they understand it over there too. And for whatever reason, it's it's a toy car kind of mentality for the uneducated here in America.
Now, to bring this up with you now, I'm going to put you on the spot, but think about it. With the U.S. your race, Cleveland, right? Say Snowbirds, our race, the Canadian Nats. Could we not have a point series between 3, or maybe somebody else comes in and like a 4 race thing where it's like an ETS, but not? But these 4 races all count, and there's some overall champion of these 4 races, of these big races in North America?
Yes, there used to be a series called the Triple Crown, and I just saw something a couple weeks ago flash on my social media that is somebody's trying to put this together with Cleveland, Snowbirds, and the Roar Nationals.
Okay.
So it definitely could be, and then as big as the Canadian Nationals, is, it definitely should, be in that. So there could be a
4,
series.
yeah.
Oh, for sure. There's no doubt somebody, could do that. There's obviously a tough thing, and all the parameters and everything like that. The 4 races, do you count 2 of 4 or 3 of 4? So there's a lot to look, but for sure it could do it. Absolutely.
I think we got to work on something like that.
Oh, for sure.
It helps out every race, and there's some big overall championship in every class and all that kind of stuff. Each class counts type thing. And
absolutely.
Maybe us 3 can do it with the 4th quarter name.
Oh, there you go, man.
There you go.
There we go. We'll talk after this, boys. We got Dimitri Kondax checking in. How's it going? Can we bring him up again? Yes. Scotty says he's free tomorrow. He's coming back on for episode 2. And as far as he's making his out-of-country race figure in Alabama, looking forward to meeting Scotty on all the global faces. I've heard nothing but great things.
TITC, that is a great race. They're in Thailand. Yep. I used to go and race it a lot just as a racer. Charlie Swink and I were good buddies. We used to go over there and race all the time when he was working at Novak, and back in the TC3, TC4, TC5 days. That's that was good times.
Mercer here loves your paper or plastic Class Dismissed should be licensed to get merch. Yeah, there should be Scotty merch. I'm sure you'll sell lots.
Should be a shirt or a hat.
Yeah, everybody asked me for that, but I've never put my name on my events till about, 10, 15 years ago. And I had somebody say something to me. There was a race, and he's like, man, Scotty, if I know that was your race, I would have went to it. And it kind of hit me like a brick in the face. I'm like, I never thought, because I don't want to promote my name. I just do what I do, and I love what I do. But when he said to them that, I was like, so I asked my brother Boomer to make me a logo, and we started putting that out there and everything like that. So, I'm glad people enjoy our events. That's our ultimate goal.
Yeah, I think it definitely makes a difference, like not even from the announcing side of it, having you announce it, but definitely the professionalism that comes with the race, the organization. You know what's going to happen. You know how things are going to rock and roll. I think that adds something big to it too. Knowing your team.
It's run so professional and straightforward, and this is the times we start, this whatever. And I use Scotty's line sometimes. My favorite line, that view, is that, are you still working on bag C back there, or how long are we waiting for you to come up here?
Right. Somebody needs
my opinion
a
fell
minute.
off. Well, where'd you go? Right?
Yeah. and it's unfortunate when people, you mentioned it earlier, Mark, that, they're mad at the race director because they didn't wait. They waited 30 seconds or a minute, but they didn't wait 3 minutes, and then they're upset at us. Well, yeah, you can be disappointed that you missed your race, but please don't be upset at the race director for doing it. They're just trying to keep the show rolling. Now, there's a caveat to that for me. Anybody knows if it's a kid, I'll wait.
Yeah.
And anybody that yells at me, "Oh, why didn't you wait for me? You waited for, Jimmy." Yes, I did wait for Jimmy.
Jimmy's
really
8.
Bothers you that we waited for this 10-year-old so he could try to have a good time, and you as a 50-year-old are upset that I waited for Jimmy and not you.
That's been racing for
sorry.
40. Yeah, that's been racing for 30 years and forgot you put the wrong battery in your car.
Correct. So, we try our best, right?
Yes, but it's tough though.
We're working on it, as you said.
We're working on it. See, you're going to use it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to hear him announcing, and in the background, I'm going to hear him whisper to somebody, "We're working on it." I mean, yeah.
That's right. That's not trademarked, is it?
But Kevin even says you created lifetime memories for a lot of us. So it's part of it.
Thank you, Kevin, for sure. Kevin and I, and we have with his dad, and we've just decades of, he's one of the young kids that I've watched grow up, to grow into these racers like Mikael Orlowski. I mean, he started racing in ETS in the hobby division with a Tamiya TT02 plastic is fantastic car, when he's 5 years old. And there was a great picture of him in Warsaw, Poland, and Mark, when Mark still wore the beanies, and now he's grown to be world champion. And I had a chance. We did ETS at Hootie event a couple weeks ago, and then I had that race ended Sunday. Monday I was announcing the Euros for off-road buggies, so I ended up driving with Mikael in his car from Hootie Arena to the race. So we had like 3-4 hours in the car, and it was great to just reminisce old stories and I know a lot about him, but I learned a lot more about him. And yeah, it's just great to watch him and many kids just grow and turn into the best racers.
100%. As Ron says, time has changed.
The one I respect about Scotty, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you remember everybody's name. It's incredible. You make everybody feel important. But I used to say the wives put we don't know, but our wives put our name in the back of our shirt. That's when Scotty comes up, taps you on the back, and looks at your name on the back of your shirt.
Well,
hey, Steve, how are you? You're good. You're very good at it.
I try, but I'm losing a step. I ain't gonna lie. Coming back after the pandemic, when I never thought I'd lose my job doing what I do, but that year and a half or whatever that I wasn't working, trying to come back.
Okay.
That was tough because my mind wasn't working like we normally do and stuff like that. And now that I'm getting a bit older, there ain't no shame in it, but I've lost a little bit. I've been like,
yeah. See, that's why at the Canadian Nat, somebody asked me, "Mark, you never do sign-ins and stuff." I said, I can't, because someone comes up, "Mark, hey, awesome. This is awesome. Thanks for holding the event." And I got to say your name, right?
Yeah.
And cross it off. And I'm thinking, how do I do this? The guy's been here like 5 years in a row, and I'm drawing a blank, and I feel terrible.
It's tough. It happens to me too. I mean, we're only human. It's for sure. But I try hard to remember everybody's name for sure.
You're good. You're good, bro.
Well, thanks.
Brandon joined. He's joined a little bit late. Brandon, how are you tonight?
Hi, Brandon.
John Wolf in the house. Dennis Young in the house. Glad you got home safe.
Dennis, I was just with him this weekend at the Great Lakes. Yeah.
There you go. So
I got to do some racing this weekend.
Where'd you race?
1/8 on road nitro.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Max won again, didn't he? Didn't Max Kooning win?
He won. Yeah, he won 8 scale. Yeah. So yeah.
It looks like a blast.
Don't try it. Don't ever try it, because I only found this out. I started after the pandemic, and man, if I'd have found an 8 scale on road 20 years ago, my life would be different for sure.
Max, it's like it is the F1 of our racing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it is without question to drive that car for that, 45 minutes at 60, 70 miles an hour, that if you blink at the wrong time, you just kit your car up. So this weekend, I was in a B of Open. I was in the AM Masters, so I drove a 30-minute B, that one. I won it, and I bumped to the A. Then I had a 40-minute Masters, and then a 45-minute Open. So I was on I had like 2 hours of racing or something like that. It was great. Yeah,
Does it feel like a 12 scale mod or 12 scale, or is it completely different?
When your car's working, it's the ultimate feeling. Yeah, like 12 scale mod, but just obviously bigger. I was a big 12 scale. You know, that I loved 12 scale when I got into carpet. My first Roar National Championship was 12 scale, and it was just I just love it. And then I found these, and I'm like, oh man, it's insane. It just so much fun.
Josh Giro's in the house. Josh, how are you?
Yeah, Josh.
Parking.
Josh and I, yes, 8 scale on road is very expensive. There's no doubt about it. You know, it is. So it is. But Josh, you know, a legend, as you know, he's like 185-time national champion or whatever Josh is, something like that.
Yeah.
And I always tell Josh that one of these days I'm going to go racing overseas. As I start to slow down a little bit, use all my friggin' flower mires, I'm going to take Josh as my mechanic, and we're going to go race in Zimbabwe or somewhere like that, and he's going to be my mechanic. So, yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
So, obviously, something big is happening in a couple of months. Your big race, North America's biggest race, Indoor Champs. I think registration opens up tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow for the off-road, Wednesday for the on-road. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And many people asked us once we had on, talk to a little bit about the classes off the start.
Sure. I'm so honored to be part of this race. When Paul Lemieux had a chance to take it over, and from the old guys that were doing it, and then he asked me, "Hey, Scotty, do you want to just do the kind of facilitating, race directing, and do all that planning?" Because he is so busy with his company and everything. I'm like, I'd be honored. I mean, that's one of the longest running events in our industry. So it was such a big honor to do it and organize the event like I like to do it and things like that. So it's been great. So so the classes, we got all the standard classes that we do. We're trying to just think outside the box. We talk about the NASCAR thing. We're going to have a NASCAR class. We're going to try see if we can get some parents that, you know, there's a lot of racers that live locally. They bring their kids on the weekend and run the NASCAR class. You know, why not? These cars are awesome. Let's give them a chance to run. And we already had some negative, poo-poo. And I'm like, why not? Let's get new people into it. It can't still just be the same old guys that are doing it. Let's do something to try to get more people in. And, I got to worry about, people sandbagging to run this class. And we need something for people to just kind of get in and learn and have fun.
100%. So I want to ask, just because we talked about this on our show last week, the no sponsor driver part. Many people commented on our post. How does something like that, or how are you guys going to
police that? How are you going to police that one, Scotty? Thankfully, it should be.
Thankfully, I think most of the time it polices itself. That, the guys aren't going to, drop down and, borrow a car from their buddy and run this class. So a lot of the times it does, but as we all know, everybody's sponsored in the industry, whether it be, electronics or, bodies or tires or body clips or whatever. Everybody's got a sponsor. So just we try to keep, guys that are, if you're sponsored by somebody, you are good enough to represent that brand. And if you say, well, I'm not a top A man, well, you chose to take that sponsorship to say I'm sponsored by this company. So you are better than the average Joe in the eyes of being a sponsored driver. So then the basic entry level classes like this, you have no business running. You don't need to chase a trophy that much to do it. Run the other classes for the companies that you represent. So we had success with this in Vegas. We had an amateur division. And back then it was pretty hardcore. There was no stickers on your bodies. You weren't wearing a team associated t-shirt on a driver stand. And there were a lot of guys that really excelled and got the spotlight because they won the amateur division at Vegas. That was a big deal. If you won the amateur, because it was all the non-sponsored guys that were really, really good. So it can work. And like I said, a lot of times it's self-police. So eventually I'll have to say, okay, Jimmy, this is not a class for you.
So
Come
again,
on,
Scotty, am I too soft? Is that what happens at our race? Is that there'll be some guy that I know shouldn't be running that class, whatever class it may be, and I tell him, dude, you can't. Why? Right? Well, if I can't run that class, I'm not coming in, Mark, to your event. So of course, Mark gives in. Right? I go, you got like 3 other cars, you could run, right? You're in the A main and some other stuff. Why the hell are you running that? Right? So I busted thinking that he's not going to run it because I'm teasing him. Like, really, you're going to run? You know what I mean? Sure. And he still runs it. And he goes, well, I run it at my club. That's the only thing that we have. You know what I mean? And so I just let him run it anyways. But then I get the feedback of some other guys that are in that class going, what the hell is he doing in this class? You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't stop him. He wants to win, say, VTA, or he wants to win whatever class.
Then Mark, if that's your feeling, if you feel he shouldn't be there and he says, well, then I'm not going to come, then I'm sorry you're not going to be joining us.
And that's my problem is, Scotty. I always give in. Max and the other part of the team always give me crap that I might act like I got big shoulders, like I said, or tough or whatever, and then I crumble. All right.
Because then he's putting it on you. Like,
yes,
he's trying to pressure you to say, okay, then I'm not going to come, and to say, okay, you still got 100 other guys there that are coming there to have fun and enjoy the hobby.
Yeah.
And
you're the one that's going to miss out. I got you.
Correct. So he's the one that's going to be miss out. So, it's you just if the guy tries to flip it on you and says, then I'm not coming, then say, okay, I'm sorry, we'll miss you here this week or this year.
Yeah, hopefully we see you next week.
Yeah.
That's why I got Max. I know, but that's why I got Max and the boys, because I give Max a lot of credit all the time. Right? Max will be that backbone of me even at my own event, because I call it a team that helps out, and I'm sure you do that too with your champs, right? So
absolutely.
I don't just call it, someone says it's your race, but I said no, it's a team effort. I got like 10 guys that if it wasn't for them all helping and taking down and all the work behind the scenes, this race wouldn't exist. That's why the Canadian Nat Team, I don't know if you watched our videos or watch our racing, usually during our drivers meeting, I call out each guy that has helped, and it's been with our crew for the 15 years, or even some guys that just started helping. I call them out, give a round of applause to these 15 guys, because if it wasn't for them, I couldn't do this stuff. I couldn't do it all myself.
Oh, it is absolutely. It's the team that makes it. We're the ones in the spotlight, but it's
the
all
face,
the people that are, taking the registration and checking the tires and tagging all that stuff and preparing the trophies, and those are the, they're the ones doing all the hard work. So you were asking about the classes. The LMH bodies are really awesome. So we're trying to get more, LMH classes, stuff like that. Again, trying to have an amateur class for the non-sponsors, touring car, to just do that. It's back in the days there was 13.5 and 17.5. Those were the classes, and then the 21.5 came out as the 21.5 was going to be. That's the class for the new guys. Well, it didn't take long when 13.5 was too fast and everything, and then all the top full of sponsor stock guys all moved down to 21.5. Yeah. So now there's no beginner class. So now we got 25.5, and now a lot of the experienced guys are going down to 25.5. So it's so tough to organize a race to try to have the class structure. So we do. So hopefully we're going to try like we did in Vegas to have the 25.5 LMH. So none of the sponsor guys are going to run that, and private drivers or new people or, whatever can have a class to do it. And I'm the first. I don't like having 92 classes at a race. I don't. But in the era that it is in life, you have to do that to be able to hold a major event at a hotel or a Vegas casino or whatever it is.
All expenses, yes.
You need the entries. Because you have to guarantee in the contract, you have to guarantee that you're going to fill X amount of hotel rooms.
Yep.
And if you had, like back in the day at Cleveland, there was 12 scale stock and 12 scale mod.
Yep.
And they went
when I first went. Yeah.
What's that?
That's when I first went. You're right.
Sure. So did I. And it was ABCD. all the way to the Z main.
Yes,
And
I
then
was
it
there
started
that year.
over AA, BB, CC. Those days are gone. If we only had stock and mod, we wouldn't get 100 guys.
No.
So you need to have all the classes that fit all the genres of classes that everybody's running at their local track to be able to come, so we can make enough money to sell all the hotel rooms, because that's the big hook when you do these venue events, where you have to guarantee them. And then there's a thing called attrition, is what's in the contract, that it's normally somewhere between 60-70%. So you have whatever you book. If let's say you're going to fill 100 rooms, just for easy math, and your attrition is 60% or 70 or 80, whatever, you have to fill it. Whatever you're short, then you have to pay out of your pocket.
Yeah.
And that's why you need all these classes, to get everybody there, so we can have the big race, to be able to afford to do this. That's what got me in the early years of Vegas, is the attrition. I was ignorant and I didn't understand it, and I had a signed contract, and we didn't fill enough hotel rooms, and boom, they hit you. Well, you were short. This is the revenue that the hotel lost, because we saved these rooms for you. They weren't open for sale for the general public. So now these rooms are empty. It's your responsibility. You owe us X amount of dollars. So that's the behind the scenes stuff of big hotel races. So that's another reason for all the classes.
Okay. We do have a few recommendations from the crowd on some new classes to add, because we want to get over the 20 mark. So Barrett Morrow would like to, Barrett wants to see Mod Lotusy NASCAR. Okay. And Sean Tarian wants to see a 5.5, I'm assuming touring car with foam.
Oh, geez. Bring back.
Please add those to the list. Please add those.
5.5. If you want to talk about foam touring car, Paul Lemieux back in the day, untouchable foam touring car, couldn't touch it. And he for many years he had his foam touring car, put it in a box, break out only in case of emergency. You know what I mean? He'd take it, because he did something. He ran rear tires on the front tires on the rear at one year in Vegas, and just crushed everybody. And it was like, foam on. Could you imagine
how fast it'd be?
I mean, you got guys like Sam and them running mod foam, and Kevin.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd just be, geez, it'd be, it's too fast. It's too fast now.
Yeah.
The carbon fiber's not strong enough. You know what I mean? But imagine you're strapping a 5.5 on a foam car. Kevin probably be all down for it. I'm sure he would. Yeah, he'd be. Oh yeah.
I would love to see it. We should try one time. You should limit it to like 10 entries or 8 entries, and you should have it.
And just bring out the
intermission class. Intermission.
There'd be 3 cars left running.
Yeah, well, I bet you everyone from the pits would be out watching and cheering.
Oh, it would be
catching cars.
It would be funny.
Oh man, yeah. Alex Hagberg, he comes most of the race. You get Alex doing, jeez. Oh, yeah. It'd be awesome.
It would be good. Now Braden Meyer says mod F1. Mod everything, it looks like now.
Just forget all the
mod it up.
Just mod, right?
Mod it up. Brand is asking, is there an amateur novice TC? It looks like only LMH will have the novice class.
Correct. The LMH is what we're doing at. There's the 25.5 touring class that is going to have with regular touring car bodies and stuff. But I don't know if it's going to work. I talked to Paul. I said, we just throw ideas around, and I said, Paul, we were trying to get some ideas to get some new people in, and we try it. I fail every day. All you can do is try, and if it doesn't work, hey, at least you tried. So we're not going to say it's going to work or be a huge hit, but hey, if we can get an A of the Losi NASCARs, and we can get a full 10 of the novice LMH, fantastic. Then it's a win, because these guys, it's going to have fun in that class.
Yeah.
I bet you if you open the Losi NASCAR up to no sponsor, like to anybody, I bet you it'd be the biggest class.
Oh yeah, because everybody would get one. Everybody would borrow one for their buddies and stuff like that. And
we had a great thing at the Canadian Nats. We did that. So we had them race, and then we gave them a little practice time on their own. What we have, I think, did we have like 19 only sign up?
Yep.
Right. So we gave them like that 12 scale. When 12 scale mod went up to practice, we let the Losi cars on during that time. And they raced, and it was all different sort of levels of guys, Scotty. But when we did it, or did we do it once or twice that day, where we had everybody go pick a driver So somebody went and picked EA with their car. And we put all 20 of them on the driver's stand together and just said, go. You should have seen EA. I never seen EA smile so much. It was chaos. They were talking, chirping each other up there. Your car's faster than mine. They were upside down. It was hilarious. And everybody came out to watch and was cheering on. It was such a great thing. I think we did that between the third and fourth round. We had them out there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I think we ran them for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. We just kept on letting them go
until they started dying.
Some started dying. And,
that's
but it was
the fun side of the hobby. Correct. Yeah. That's great.
So to confirm a couple of things about the race, because we've been getting lots of questions because the rules maybe not be completely updated yet, which is understandable.
That's my task after this show is to go and and finish that. Yes.
We're gonna leak it before you type it out. So here we go. Handout tire for touring car with gravity tire.
Correct. That's the plan right now. Yes.
Okay.
And it'll be the gold compound, if you know that answer.
The
newest compound.
The newest. Yeah, the newest one. Yes.
Okay, understood. And then we're getting some questions about the 25.5 motors.
Yes.
Obviously, it's going to be all the new 25.5 motors.
That's correct. Yeah. Last year that change happened so quick to the event, we didn't think it was fair because there was not a plethora of them out there on the market. But now, yes, you can run the old ones if you want, but the new ones are allowed.
And
same with the other classes. You can run the new motors, or you can still run the old ones.
And 21, is it going to be epoxied still or non-epoxied?
Whatever the new rules.
The new rule doesn't start till the end of the year. That's the problem. Non-epoxied.
What the rule 21. That started last year?
Yeah, like you're saying in the other class, like 13.5, 75, you can run either the old style motor or the new style motor, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Because I was getting a lot of questions about that too. Because
what were you saying about 21.5?
So 21.5, Scotty, guys were asking, even at our club, were saying, well, the non-epoxied motors are getting hot and not running as fast or efficient as the epoxied one. Now they're saying for Cleveland, is Cleveland going to allow the epoxied motor still of what's left over? Because I think only one company might be making an epoxied motor still. I think that's JDR. This is just hearsay. But they said the rule of non-epoxied total doesn't come out until January 1st. So they're asking me, is Scotty going to allow epoxied motors still in 21.5 come Cleveland? I know something you guys got to think about or talk about or whatever. I'm just asking. Is that right, Max? Did I say that right?
I'm not a big motor guy, but I think so. I think basically the JDR, the Jim Deaner motors, is the only motor that still you can buy new with epoxy.
Yes.
Hobby Wing's gone to their G5. Obviously, R1 has their V30. Orca has their new motors. Those are the non-epoxy. So many people were wondering, are you still going to allow the non-epoxy older style motors?
Yeah, the epoxy one.
Older style motors.
And what's going on at our own club racing is that if you throw in an epoxy motor, obviously it doesn't fade as bad. So they're finding with the new unepoxied motors, there's quite a bit of fade and they run really hot.
Well, as far as I understand, my conversation with Paul is, the old motors are still going to be allowed because people have them. And until the new rule goes in effect, you can still run the old ones. Yeah.
Gotcha. No problem. Just wanted to make sure. So GT12 rubber tire will be US GT motor and gravity tires again this year. I think GT12 was open tire, right?
That's correct. GT12 was open tire. We had the exhibition class with the gravity tires.
Yeah. So that's that one.
But it's open tire, right?
Okay.
The only tire rule that we're still working on right now is the new like World GTR, the new rubber tires. CRC came out with the new smaller diameter one.
The
so
F1.
I am talking to everybody I can in the know to try to find out what's going to be the best rules package and what's going to be fair. And that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, that was me. Paulie called me. And again, that's my man crush. These guys make fun of me when we have Paulie on, right? There's nobody better RC racer and nobody better for a racer or sponsored guy was Paulie Lemieux. There was nobody else ever. That from when he was a young kid till now. Amazing guy. I talk to him about once a week. Well, he called and asked, he's like, oh, how's it feel? And I'm like, what a disaster. He goes, yes. He goes, you guys at the Canadian Nats for 15 years have been getting away because you're the last race and all the rules are set by the time it gets to you guys. So we have to eat it and get crushed. So how's it feel a week before the Canadian Nats, all that stuff came out about their new CRC tire, and are you going to allow it? So we sat down and said, you know what, we're not going to allow it. And of course, CRC and a lot of stuff was not very happy with me or sponsoring the race anymore and blah, 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 because I made a call. And it was a week before.
Sure.
So it was, I know how you guys feel now. And so, of course, Paulie was laughing because you get away with all the stuff because Cleveland has to eat it. Snowbirds has to eat whatever other rules. And you guys just fall by the wayside at the end because you're near the end of the year and everything's set already. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful, Scott.
So I'm trying to try to come up with the best rule package. And
Okay.
so that rule is not set yet. Granted, we're still many months away. So even though entries open up in a couple days, still, I mean, it's not like you sign up and you're not going to get your money back if you're not happy with the rules package or whatever. But so I got a lot of figuring out what to do that's going to be fair for the industry.
Yes, and is it roar legal? That's another one too, right?
Well,
We still have
that's
following
all
roar
thing,
legal, right? And I think you like that one, Scotty. I say that at every post now or every video we do is that I really think everybody should have to be a roar member, and I'll bring that up all the time. I think every RC racer event, whatever it is, off-road, on-road, I really think that everyone should have to spend for and be a roar member. Gives more money for roar. If it wasn't for roar, we need a governing body. You need some. That's the way I feel, anyways.
Absolutely. There's no negative anybody. They're complaining about what's our roar membership, $35-$40, whatever, and somebody will complain about having to pay that, but that same guy just went to a hobby shop and spent $30 on a bag of blue screws. So he's so we need a sanctioning body to set it. Now, can roar be improved by a whole lot? Absolutely. There's a lot of things that need, but it needs support from the industry, needs people to volunteer their time. I've said it many times. I think the sanctioning bodies need to be run like a business. The president needs to be paid and paid well to do it. So he doesn't, because our industry has changed so much. If you rewind to the 80s, people worked Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Now people work 8 days a week, 30 hours a day. They do not have time to go home after a long day of work. They get home at 7, eat, and do 2 hours of volunteer work.
Yeah.
People don't have that time anymore.
Well, back in the 80s, wasn't it John Thawley? You must remember that name. Wasn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
Actually got paid. That was his job. He was the president. And I think he got paid. And that was his full-time job. If I remember, I was a pretty young kid then. But I thought it worked out great. Why not? Why not the guy get paid? He was at every roar event. He was at stuff. And I think he even did some announcing at some of the stuff.
Oh, yeah. He was a really good announcer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did Cleveland for a long, long time. All the races in Michigan and stuff like that. So, I mean, it should be a paid thing, because if it was structured like that, the industry, the big companies, they would spend money. There needs to be president, a secretary, and a marketing, somebody that does the marketing. When a track gets granted the national championship, okay, you're going to host a national. That should be not on Jimmy Smith's track to reach out and come up with a marketing and a sponsor packet and try to get money. That shouldn't be on a track owner. That should be our sanctioning body. And if it was a paid position and somebody's job was to do marketing, and then they could have a whole structure for it. And Roar does a great job now for just volunteers. But I think if it was a paid position, I would gladly pay $50, whatever. Increase my measurement my membership if I know there were people working. Their daily job was to make RC racing better, to get it out to the masses. I would absolutely do it. The BRCA in England, they got a great setup. They go out to the malls. They have a little they call it they got some Schumacher 12 scale cars that are kind of all built with pads around them. They set up a little track that people can go in the mall and just have a go and try it and do it. And they hand out brochures and everything like that. And I think it could be a paid organization, and these people would work for it to better the hobby. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, I often am, but hey, that's how I feel.
Nailed it on the head. Amen. You're exactly right. Everything you said was 100% correct. It doesn't make sense that our governing body is volunteered and
Well, it even goes down to like when Paulie tells me when you send in motors and batteries and all that. If someone's doing it for their job, I'm sure it must take a long time to get any feedback, right? Did I'm in spec, not spec? They got to tear apart all this stuff. Like you said, the guy's working all day and he comes home and takes apart 2 motors or 1 motor and he's got to get other stuff. It must take a very long time to get through every motor company and every speedo company and every battery.
Correct. And I know they always talk about, well, we can't do that because the way the structure is set up and stuff like that, but anything's possible. And I'm not saying I know the solution. I think majority of the guys that have been in a hobby like us, we would gladly pay another 20 or 50 bucks a year to have an organization that absolutely strives and their daily job is to make this industry better and to get it out to the masses. I think
that's what I mean, Scotty. We don't want to spend the 40 bucks, but we want to use the rules.
Well,
that's true. What I mean, right? So every club, every track you go to, you have raw rules, but I don't want to give them $40. And it's about, and how do you say that? It's like even a referee, basically you need a governing body, but yeah. And everybody hates the ref anyways, right? Wow. I go to my kids' hockey games. They boo the refs when they skate on the ice already, right? Like,
correct.
You're going to make bad calls. You're going to make whatever, but you need them. You need refs.
You're correct.
You need a governing body.
I get faced with it all the time. You need to have a ref. Okay, who's going to take time off from their job to come to make a couple $100 and just be yelled at? And people say, "Oh, that guy. We got a couple guys that ref for us at ETS. Oh, he didn't do this. He didn't see it." Okay, do you want the job?
No.
You come on. Tell us who can do the job better. We'll absolutely do it. You want to step up and do it? No. So there's
and you're right,
two
buddy.
sides to it.
You can ask Maxie that the Canadian Nats. I'll pay somebody, say I'll give them $100 and we'll buy you lunch, supper, whatever. Come do tech. They usually last half the day, and after half the day, they're like, "Mark, I'm going home. I ain't doing this no more. I told the guy his car didn't weigh right and this and that." And the guy started yelling at me. "My car weighs okay last time up," and all. He goes, "I'm not doing this. It ain't worth the $100 and the lunch and everything else." So I make an announcement every year at the Nats and my opening. If you yell at any of my tech people or whatever and stuff like that, you're doing tech the rest of the weekend. Your racing canceled and you're going to sit and do tech. How do you like that?
Yeah, because that's the worst job to have is be a tech guy, sit behind the scale for 15 hours a day.
Back to some Cleveland questions that are coming in. I want to get them answered for everyone.
Oh, sure.
Kevin wants to know, there's been talk about control practice by group. What's happening, if there's any conversation?
Nothing that I'm aware of. And I don't know if, that hasn't come up from Paul. So, I can ask for sure, but we try to do the 12 scale mod every hour that has worked out. But the problem is when you start setting it up by group, you limit the amount of practice you have. You absolutely do. When you start setting it up by group all the time, the open practice, it can work, but you start limiting it now because you can't get on the track. Instead of you can run your 4 or 5 minute run, go back to your pit, 20 minutes, change your camber, change your caster, fall back in line, and you're back on the track 25 minutes later. Well, if you're in group 2 and group 12, all right, now you're going to be up 2 hours later. Is the next time. So there's plus and minuses to both. Nothing is perfect, that's for sure. And like any events, we're always willing to try. There's nothing wrong with trying and failing. I mean, that's at least you tried. So, I'm happy to bring that up. But as we're sitting right now, that we didn't have that conversation, but we're still a couple months away.
Yeah, like maybe do you think the champs could take kind of what you guys do at ETS with the practice schedule?
Oh,
do you think this couldn't happen?
Oh, no. See, it's a totally different mentality. American racers, European racers, no way. So ETS, we got 340, 50 entries or whatever. The computer runs the practice, and it's 4 minutes with about 30 seconds in between. So they're walking up the stand. The other guys are walking down the stand. The clock starts. So these guys are getting 3 minutes, 15 seconds of practice out of a 4 minute or even less. there'd be anarchy here. It would be, you know, so no, it works in Europe, but I don't think it would work. It'd work here, and everybody over there, right out to Marshall, right away, no problem. It's all.
You can't chit chat. You can't chit chat.
No,
Can't talk about my run.
Radio down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at least we tried to ask.
Yeah. What else you got, Maxie? Here, there's a lot of questions now.
GT12 open tire. No, the GT12 is open tire. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Well, GT12, a lot of GT12 would be USGT motor or Roar Approved 21.5.
The GT, same motor as we used last year, USGT.
Yeah.
Yeah, USGT motor from the rules.
Yeah.
Why don't 13.5 TC stay the track sizes?
Because the motors are just so fast. We had to change from 13.5 down to 75 because 13.5 is basically modified.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different. Now we run 13.5 in ETS, yes, but it's control motor, control speedo, everything's in control. Control gear ratio, the whole thing. So it works over there. If it was all you can eat over here, just let her go. No, it's too fast. So yes, 17.5s are plenty fast.
No problem. And a couple questions.
Funny you brought up food. Look what John asked.
Yes, we have an important question here. Let's hold the show.
John sang?
How many McRibs can Scott eat in one sitting?
You know, I have. Oh, man, that's funny you bring this up because that was my brother. My brother loved the McRibs, and I don't eat McRibs because I know what would happen. I haven't had a McRib. Oh, it's had to be whenever they brought him back.
Max is bringing it up. There it is.
Ah, look at it.
The McRib is back, baby.
I've never heard of a McRib.
Oh,
I didn't even know this existed.
They're awesome when they first came out, and I don't know, and then they took them away and they brought them back, and my brother Boomer's like, oh man, we gotta go get some McRibs. So I had one many years ago, but no, I try to stay away because they're dangerous. They're really good. And John, to what would be the official answer? I think two would be no problem. The question is, John, how many could you eat? Because John's got that he's got that thin Asian kind of figure thing going, and I bet you he could pound probably 4 of them. John, I hope you're doing well. It's been a long time, and John's out from the West Coast, and he's a cool cat. Scotty would be the Joey Chestnut of McRibs. Mike McBride, what's up? I just ran with Mike this weekend.
Wow, I've never heard of this McRib. John says he's done 5.
Oh, John, 5. Okay. Yeah,
you're close. You're close.
You had enough sodium for probably about 3 weeks then in one sitting. They're not the most nutritious and healthiest things for you. But yeah, the McRib, geez. How did that come up on our RC podcast? You gotta love it.
So last question for Cleveland.
Sure.
Any big names in the works, European, international drivers that you think are coming this year? Has that been conversation?
Yes.
Can we spill it? Can you give us? Come on.
There's a long pause.
I got to make some clips tomorrow morning, Scotty. Give me something to make a clip out of here.
Somebody.
The problem
Can you give us team?
The biggest problem is the Worlds.
Yeah.
Because the Worlds is right before. So, I was disappointed when they set the date, but disappointed on a selfish side that, that some of the big guys that always want to come might not be able to because it's such a turnaround that, 10 days in Bangkok or whatever they're going to be. It's exhausting, regardless of how your race goes, just from the heat and everything. And so we don't know who's going to be able to, and they may commit now, but if things don't go right or they're just thoroughly just destroyed from being over there, it might back out. So nobody that we can announce right now. It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair to them. It wouldn't be fair to the race. It wouldn't be fair to the other racers that are coming expecting to see one of the top guys.
Okay. Can you give us like a hint of like what team some guys may come from?
They're part of the RC industry. And
This guy's good.
They specialize in on road. So, no, it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair.
Okay.
We've had there's a lot of people that have reached out to Paul and I, and that want to come and stuff like that, because it's such a legendary race, and you guys know hotel races are the best. If you're flying in, you take an Uber, 15 minutes from the airport or whatever, and you're at the hotel and you're good to go. So, unfortunately now, and I'm not trying to be coy, or I'm trying to be funny, but I'm failing. But no, the world has just changed everything with everybody. And I just saw Mikhail and Mark and all them guys posting Mattia. They're all flying to Bangkok right now for the warm up. So we'll just have to see what the world goes, and we'll have a couple spots open in case some of the big guns come. But I'd love to see the guys. I'd love to have Haber come. I mean, Alex he's a legend. I'm a huge fan. It'd be great to have him, or Arlowski to come. It'd be great to have him there. So it really depends on what happens at the Worlds and how that goes.
Yeah. We have I have so many questions, but we have so little time, it feels. So I don't want to keep you too much longer, but some great questions are coming in. Obviously, the shifting gears to a different race of yours, the ETS. You guys made a big announcement this past week with F1. Sadly, my favorite class, no longer part of the ETS family. Can you speak a little bit about why you guys made the decision and how that went down?
Sure. I mean, it's entries. That's the whole thing. We get 20 some. We got front wheel drive's got 107. Entries in it, and then Formula One has 20. And it's tough because you try to balance the day out, to give everybody the same amount of time and stuff like that. And when entries are so low, and then the commitment to get the specs and stuff like that for it, it's really tough. So the racers kind of decided that by that class dropping in interest over the last years, you look at the numbers when we used to have, 40 and 30 and 20. I think we had 22 or something like that. The last one, I don't know what we have for Andernock set up yet, but it's just a tough call. It's not one we want to make, especially I love F1. You know what I mean? That's go back to my Tamiya days and Lotus F102. I loved it. So it's just a tough call, and the entries dictated, what we have to do, and it's disappointing. None of us wanted to do it, but we're trying to run the best series that we can, and we all kind of agree it's disappointing. It's, again, my heart says no, but the events, we just all kind of have to make that decision. It's sad, and we knew there'd be negative feedback, and some of the people feel betrayed, or things like that. But I'm disappointed they feel that way, because if we were still getting 30 or 40 entries, it wouldn't be a conversation, and it's disappointing, but it was a decision that we had to make.
On a positive note, is there anything, I've seen a lot of the racers posting, they're doing different stuff over there. Is there something they can do that could possibly bring them back in the future? Like, let's say F1 builds in a couple of years from now. Is there a possibility that, F1 can come back?
Anything's possible, for sure. I mean, any race promoter wants to have the best event they can. So if all of a sudden we had, a lot of interest again, and we saw there's a spinoff, somebody's doing a Formula One Pro 10 series in Europe now. So maybe if that gets some legs and gets some interest, just never know where it goes. But I would say never.
And let's say the next, you guys have 3 races left. Let's say entries get up to 50, 60 for for F1. Do you guys go, maybe let's bring it back for next year? Would that change it?
Well, that's the thing, is everybody going to just the last hurrah, and they're going to, I got mine sitting down in the basement. Hey, we're going to run it this time. And, just for old time's sake, do it again. So we'll have to wait and see. And the team, we all throw ideas around to see what'll be best.
Got you. Alex is upset because he was just getting good at F1. He was going to make the trip over to ETS.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
From Rochester, New York.
From Rochester, yeah.
Yeah. Make the trip.
Brandon's asking, can we change classes? Yeah, I'm sure you can change classes after you register for champs.
Yeah, absolutely, Brandon. There's no, once you're in and everything, it's really easy to change a class. Just send me an email. I tell everybody, don't social media me with instant messenger and WhatsApp and WeChat and all this. I get dozens and dozens messages a day. I can't keep up. So I always tell anybody, if you want to reach me, send me an email. It's going to take me a week if I'm at a race or whatever, because I got Tamiya this week and I fly right Sunday night. The race ends in California. I fly out to Jakarta Sunday night for my race, and then I go to ETS in Germany. So I'll get to your email, but if they're in there, it might take me a week, but I will answer it.
Do you think the foam tire in F1 was what caused the fall, or are you guys happy with your decision there going to foam not too long ago?
I think it was the right decision over there because it made it more drivable for the average Joe. Jan Rothyski, David Ehrbar, they were going to be on top, all the time. Andreas Stabler, they knew the rubber tires they got, but the average people, they struggled with them. You know what I mean? How to treat them and all that stuff. So it did help the average racer, not so competitive, more just the hobbyist. That did simplify it, and nobody trued them down or anything like that. So we didn't have any big chunking problem or things like that. So I think it worked out. It worked out okay.
Okay. I'm going to ask a couple more questions here, Scotty, from the chat.
Sure.
We got to do another show. So this weekend you're off. Whatever other weekend you're off, we got to get you back. So schedule us in for that weekend.
Okay.
Because we have 100 questions, but the fans are asking questions, so I want to make sure I get them answered for them. I don't want to.
Oh no, I'm honored and appreciate it. But yeah, we can. After I got a couple weeks off after ETS, there in September, I can. We can do another.
Maybe we'll do something live at Champs.
The problem is time, though. That's the tough part.
Tell the race to hold on. Let's do our show, then proceed with the race. Come on.
Awesome.
Your thoughts on 3D printed race spec cars? So like the 3D printed cars, like what Thing did. His name's not coming to my mind.
I think innovation and
Scott Jakes.
What's Scott Jakes did? Yeah, there's nothing. If it fits in the box that meets all the specs and everything, yeah, why not? I don't have any problems with it if it meets all the criteria necessary for it. I think technology is just going to continue to evolve.
Okay. There you go. Mike wants to know, will it make Ribcon move me to the front of the email response list?
Yes, exactly. There you go. I don't know. Are they readily available at all McDonald's right now? I don't know.
I've never heard of it, so I don't even know.
I can't say never, but the only time I eat McDonald's is when I'm overseas. It's staggering. I never go to McDonald's here domestically. I just don't. But you get done we're done at ETS at 9:00. It's the only thing open because restaurants close early in Europe. So it's like the only choice. And I'm not a big McDonald's fan.
What about overcharging batteries? Will it be allowed to be a runoff, or will there be penalties of some sort?
We have a parameter, a certain voltage. If it's a couple tenths over, you can. But if you come out, with your battery at 846, sorry, you're not going to run. The charger or the voltmeter is set up in tech well before, so you can charge during practice. Set your charger, check with the voltmeter. Okay, I'm overcharged. Go back, change your charger and things like that. So it's pretty. We give a couple tenths because I don't agree in the flat number. If you're over, you're done. I think everything changes. You're in a hotel that is not used to having 200 chargers set up. So, the voltage, anything could happen. Sometimes the breaker trips. So, guy having charged his battery last minute, who knows? But so there is a little variance, but if you come back super overcharged, sorry, you're not charging. You're not racing that qualifier.
And I think, sorry, last question, mine. ETS, you guys had, and I believe this was Bruno. I think it was the ETS race. He was over voltage.
No, that was the Euros.
Was that? Oh, okay.
At Luxembourg,
Okay.
yeah. So he was over voltage, and I think that was the same. Don't quote me on this because I wasn't there. I was watching, and yeah, I think he was very over voltage. So anybody knows Bruno. Bruno's not going to do that, and it's modified, so you're not nuking your battery. Most of the guys run the batteries, at 8.2 or whatever. They don't even fully charge them because they can't use the rip. It's more negative than positive. So it was just unfortunate.
Yeah. Last question for the night. 28 scale will ever be a thing. Will Scotty ever be involved in 28 scale, or is 12th scale the smallest you'll go?
Well, no, because 28 scale is cool. There's a lot of people doing it. Associated's got the big event coming up in a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, I can't go. I'm really bummed because I was there last year at that vintage, and they're doing a big 28 scale. But I always had a crazy dream doing an event. I always wanted to do a RC race on a cruise ship.
Oh,
and I looked into it. 12 scale only. You can have a small track. But now when 28 started going, I'm thinking, I got this. I got mini Z's on the high C's. I got the name and everything. So I would love to do it. We could do it with 28 scale. Tell me who wouldn't go to that. Even if you didn't own one, you have a box stock mini Z class. You're going to tell your wife or girlfriend, hey, we're going to go on a cruise. We're going on a cruise. Absolute game for sure. Yes, dear, we're going. Oh, why are you bringing your RC? Oh, there's a race. Okay, I'll be over here at the pool, and you go in the basement of the ship and race your toy car. I'll be over here with a pina colada. So,
I love that.
Yeah, everybody would do it. Even if you're not into mini Z, you would still get one. It'd be
100%.
Awesome.
100% would get one.
I've talked to some crew line, but it's again the space is the hard part because this room for these 3 hours of the day is the Pilates class, and then from 3 to 5 it's the teach you how to make a bamboo umbrella class. And so to get the space for a long time is the challenge, but it'd be awesome.
That'd be sick. And John says, do it on an NCL ships with go-kart tracks in a ballroom.
Oh,
well, John, if you have connections.
John doesn't even run mini Z, but I'm sure he'd have one. He would be there. Him and his wife would be there in a heartbeat. It'd be awesome. So yeah,
that would be cool.
It's still back here in the filing cabinet. I'd still love to do
it. That'd be sick.
It would be. It'd be great.
Well, Scotty, it's been an awesome hour 45. I don't want to take up too much of your time. It flies by. We say it every show.
Yeah.
So it flies by. But thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute blast to learn a lot about you, how you started your racing career, the decisions you make, the races you own. So much cool information. So huge thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you, Scotty. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's honored to be here. I was really honored when you guys asked me to do it. You guys do a great job, and it's really cool for all the guests that you have. You learn so much other than they're just public that them as a pro racer or whatever. You learn more of their backstory and stuff like that, and it's really cool. And I'm thankful to do it. And if you want to do it again, we'll be happy to do that because we got.
Hell yeah!
I love the hobby as much as you guys, and lots to talk about, and for sure be happy to do it.
Yeah, 100%, and we'll hopefully be doing some stuff at your race if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Video stuff going.
That's great. You guys want to we'll get you a corner there, and you can set up thing and just have random, guys coming by and just have them sit down and chat. It would be, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll work that out. But huge thanks for coming on. Go get those rules updated because our comments blew up when we posted you were having you on.
For sure.
So get that done. But huge thanks for coming on, man. Have a great evening, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mark. Great job, guys. Thank you very much.
Safe trip, buddy. Your next trip.
See you guys. Good luck.
Later, dude.
Bye. Thank you.
Well, there we go. Another show in.
Another great one.
Hour and a half. Oh, John said it perfect. Class dismissed.
That's good.
It is. He's legendary. Legendary announcer, one of the best to do it. So that's why he does what he does.
It was really cool, buddy. He found a niche that was needed and ran with it. And he's definitely really good at it. And like you said, it's just not announcing; it's the organization of the race.
It's everything. It's the total package.
Yeah.
Anyone can sit up there and say lap times, who's in first, who's in second. You try to do it all the time at Rose, and you suck at it. So anyone can do it.
Well, thanks, Max. Well, yes, I do. Thank you for reminding me. I stink at it. And my kid reminds me.
No, it's a tough job. It's super, super, super tough to do. What to say, how to watch the track. So, and Scotty's the pro. He's the best at it. So huge thank you for Scotty for coming on. That was awesome. So next week, hopefully, we're working out. Ryan Maker will come on next week. Because he's in Australia, the time zone, he can come on live. We don't need to do a pre-recorded show. So hopefully next week we have Ryan Maker on.
Awesome.
If not, we'll get someone else on to come and chit-chat with us for an hour and a half.
I know. I'm sure Josh would like to come on.
I'm sure Cyril would like to come on. We can get Cyril on if Cyril would like to come on. I'm sure. So,
and remember, Drew's always waiting. Drew's always waiting for another 3-hour one.
Drew would be good because if Drew comes on, I just have to click like live, go live, and then I could go do whatever. He'll ask himself the questions. I always say he'll interview himself, so I don't even have to sit here. If you want to talk to Drew, go ahead. But I'll go chill on the couch, work on my car, whatever the case may be. So, and can you believe he's still holding my trophy hostage for Boronats?
Really?
Yeah, he's holding it hostage.
What'd you do to him?
I don't know. I need that trophy because all my trophies are now gone.
They're in
the flood. So I need my one trophy now. So
and crickets when you ask for it,
huh? Well, crickets when yes.
Maybe he's asking for. Maybe got to get him back on the show.
Maybe you have to get him back on the show. Crickets, probably because he didn't win any trophies, so he wants mine. Sorry, Drew.
Well, maybe he's using it. Yeah.
I want to share something just came in.
What's that?
Before we go off. I just got some updated photos. Oh, I hope I can share these on screen.
Dimitri wants an episode with Masami. Holy cow.
To the person who just sent me photos, let me ask.
Uh-oh, what do we got?
No, nothing bad. I just want to make sure I can share them on the screen. Mr. with Masami. I want an episode with Dimitri.
Oh, yeah.
Dimitri, I would love to have you on. Thanks, man. No problem. Okay, let's show these before I go. This is crazy. Completely different hair, but same size arms. Ready? Look at that guy.
Kevin.
Kevin, what did you say to those girls when you took and again with these jeans? What are those jeans,
that was
Kevin?
The style then, buddy.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Same style body with the white, green, painted wing.
Oh yeah. He did.
Painted wing back in the day.
Yep. Look at that hairdo he had.
Look at this one.
Holy moly.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So cool to see all the old stuff. Look at the old Tim Hortons box. That's beautiful. Timbits. Look at the Turbo 35s. Everything.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you for sharing those, Kevin. Those are badass. It's cool to see. It's cool to see because you see guys like Kevin and you see where they are now in their racing career and the level they're at and the shit they got. But they obviously came up the ranks. They race club races.
Do you think his arms are the same size there underneath that hoodie?
Legs are the same size for sure. Why are these wearing baggy jeans? You only wear baggy jeans when your legs are small. So
I always miss leg day, buddy.
Always miss leg day.
My
all right,
son,
everyone.
JB and Barry Baker was in that pic.
Oh, that's JB?
Yeah, with that hair.
Oh my God. I did not know that.
Yeah. And the fabulous one in the back.
That's crazy. JB always does that with his hands too. That's crazy. That's JB. Well, everybody, it's been a great episode, 2 hours in. Thank you very much for everyone tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Have a great night. Race at your local track this weekend and buy from your local hobby shop. Support everyone that supports our hobby. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Maxie.
See you at Showtime.
Later.